What's going on, y'all? Urban RedPill here. Um, I'm gonna jump right in on this. I've been looking around the internet, especially in the Black manosphere, and I'm seeing a lot of videos about the criticism of Oprah Winfrey and her best friend Gayle on both instances, R. Kelly and Michael Jackson. The question that I have for black men that I would like to know is I want you to tell me what rock were you living under for the past 40 years and beyond? Because the last I checked, black women have sold out black men since I was born. I don't understand why are black men so surprised that, we're in 2019 and yes, Oprah Winfrey and her best friend Gayle, which are both feminists at that, yes, they're going to sell black men out. And it bothers me, like, why are black men so surprised about this? Those who are old enough to know, Oprah Winfrey got her major start as a talk show host somewhere back in the 80s. Her show pretty much consisted of the bashing of black men. Her show was geared around that. You know how, like, right now we got the welfare chicks that sit around and watch Maury all day, where he revealed DNA tests? In the 80s, at that time, I even had a mother that they sit home, and Oprah Winfrey was the Maury in the 80s. And most of her content was about this you go girl bashing black men. And this has been going on since the 80s. That's how she got her start. And she's made a fortune off of this. So how do we fast forward to 2019 and you're shocked that this same woman, just because of her melanin, is selling black men out? I'm not surprised at all. Her ideology hasn't changed. Oprah Winfrey is what I call, she is a black female feminist. And what I mean by that is she supports that ideology, and we know part of that is the bashing and degrading of black men. They have a term, birds of a feather, they flock together. Remember, we got to keep this truth straight across the board. If Gayle is Oprah's best friend, and they've been best friends, I believe, since the mid 70s to the current, what does that tell you? Real quick on that R. Kelly thing, it's a, he should have never did the interview. If you want to reach out and show another side of you or get some type of public sympathy, we're in 2019, man. You create your own platform and you go ahead and you talk to the public directly. For you to sit down with a black feminist, the same woman who's going to side with these quote unquote victims, I think was a move that is really costing him right now. And you see the black killer bees swarmed on him. Next thing you know, the ex-wife, now she wants her child support. And you guys know the whole story. But what I'm saying to black men is this: the days of your fists in the air, lining up side by side with black women as a unit, those days are over. Black women have shown you over I don't know how many generations. Hell, some of this stuff even goes back to slavery. Black women have sold out black men for so long that this should be no surprise. I am still amazed that you have men out here that are still catering to these women. They hate you. How do we know this? You consider you tell them, many black men, I don't like weave. Guess what black men women continue to do? They continue to wear it. They're letting you know they don't give a fuck what your opinion is about their appearance. Why? Because in my, from my opinion, they're not doing this to impress you. They're doing this for other women and to mimic white women. None of this has anything to do with black men. They've sold you out. Second reason we could look at is look at the abortion rates. Whose kids do you think that they're pregnant with? They're pregnant. Those are from black men. They don't even want your seed, man. They don't want your opinion. They don't want your seed. They could give a fuck about raising a family unit with you. Look at the marriage rates. I mean, if you really think about it, they would rather take welfare than to walk down the aisle with you, for you to be a father and a husband and a provisioner over her. In so many ways, yes, a little passive aggressive the way they're doing it, but they're telling you, like, they don't give a fuck about you. Oprah Winfrey has had a knife to sharpen with black men for generations. And for them us to sit here and act like this is such a surprise, it just really amazes me. What has she ever done in her show or audience that caters to black men? Anything. Her topics, nothing. Gayle, that's her best friend. What? Nothing. Remember, Gayle is the puppet for Oprah. Nothing. Why are you men negotiating with these terrorists? Why is R. Kelly sitting with a black female feminist? To plead for public sympathy for the very same girls that she represents. It makes no sense. Black men, you gotta wake up. Look, your women don't give a fuck, because they're your women. I've already figured them out long time ago. I know this gameplay. I know how all of this game works with them. I understand their mindset. I understand the lens that they look at me through. When they see me, I could see through what purpose or whatever it is that they're trying to do with their dealings with me. I understand how they feel about the culture. Some of these black women are messing with some of these black guys just as something to do, to pass time. They're not taking you seriously. So it's about time that you stop taking them seriously. Stop sitting across the table trying to reason with a person or a culture of women that hate you. Like, really just think about that. Imagine someone in so many ways. I think their way is the worst, because they're not going to say it. What they're doing, they just show you. They show the culture. Think about someone telling you or showing you that they hate you, but yet you want to sit at the table and negotiate with them. How far do you think that's going to go? Really, how far? And you wonder why 40, 50, almost 60 fucking years that it hasn't gone anywhere. Why? Is because you can't negotiate hate. You can't negotiate that. If a person hates you, that's it. You just have to accept that that's how they feel about you, and you move on with your life, and, because life is not that long, and you go with whoever's with your program. Do I blame them? Yes. But I blame them being socialized by past generations of female more than anything, because they didn't come out the womb just hating black men. They didn't. They were coached, they were taught, they were socialized to see black men through a certain lens that got us also to this point. I mean, wake up, guys. Like, don't worship a woman that's not worthy of you worshiping her. They're not worthy of it. Look what they've done in the community. Most of you black men who always find yourself tied up in a bunch of shit, and you love to just blame white supremacists, racism. And I always look at a lot of these stories, even sometimes on local news, and guess what's the common denominator of all these arrests, of these murders, of all this dysfunction? The common denominator has always been that black woman. But yet, they tap dance around that and go like straight to racism and white supremacy and all this stuff. And this is why when you see a Gayle and an Oprah sit and put this black male on live TV for the world to see and throw stones at him, you're shocked because you think that this woman aligns with you because of melanin. Brother, they sold you out generations ago. Do the research. This thing's been signed, sealed, delivered generations ago. And it's about time you got to stop being late to the party. Wake up. This party is over, man. The custodian's here cleaning up the mess. The drinks are gone. The curtains are closed. It's nothing left to negotiate. They are who they are. It took multiple generations to get us to this point. And think about it, it's going to take even more to get us out. How much time do you have in your life to sit here square dancing with a demon? Why do you want to continue to risk your life, your freedom, slow dancing with a demon? It's time for men to start just focusing on their own agendas, their own gender agendas, and quit trying to negotiate with these women. Look, by nature, they're not leaders. They have a lot of biological flaws that makes them, that enables them from being able to actually move together with. This is something that's got to be done with the men and the men only, with no women at the table, no women voices, no women opinions. This is the only way that the attack on masculinity is going to end. You can't sit and talk with feminists and think that they're going to sympathize with you or that they're going to have your best interests at heart when you're trying to focus on your agenda. Hell, I'm not going to even say it. This is for YouTube. Black men, wake up. Men in general, wake up. Stop negotiating with terrorists. Do not negotiate with terrorists. Black women are your public enemy number one. Public enemy number one. If look at the child support system. Why are you in it? Who put you in it? Who called the police to have you arrested? Who called the state on you and sent you papers telling you that you need to go to court to deal with payment plans for child support for a child that you had no problem with taking care of? But they hate you. They want to have a government as a proxy to you being a father to your own offspring. These are your women. These are your women. That's what you want to negotiate with? Look at the neighborhoods, the hood, the projects. How do you even get the keys to the projects? What do you need to be certified or qualified to live in those buildings? And if it's a black net community, you have to be a black single mother, a black woman. These are the seeds to the dysfunction in your own communities. Leave them heifers alone, man. They can't be saved. They're mentally and emotionally damaged. And I'm not saying this as me bashing them. This is just a reality. This is what it is. How are you going to negotiate with a group of women that have mental disorders? How? I just want to speak real quick on that. Stop being shocked when you see your own women go against you, because there's a real secret of underlying hate that they do have for you. Most of this, they were socialized to feel this way. The first time that most of these black women heard niggas ain't shit, it came from their mothers. The first time they heard I don't need no man or you don't need no man, that came from their black mothers. First time they heard this nigga ain't worth the shit, that comes from their black mothers. That's not, think about it. That doesn't even sound right. When the last time you heard a father tell his daughter, tell his son to look at black men in that way? I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but really, like, it's not enough where it could change an opinion of a whole generation. That comes from the ones that are raising and rearing them. Some black men have already packed their bags and left. You see it all over. I see it all over in the public. They pretty much have left. Whatever your preference is your preference. But what I'm telling you is, don't get yourself emotionally and mentally vested with a woman who hates you. She can't love you because she was socialized to hate you. Even if she wanted to love you, she can't. Bye.